Well, welcome everyone to Club CPG's Pre-Accelerator Pitch Day. This is the Ideation group. I'm Chad Parsman. I'm the executive producer for all of our streams and Genius calls over here at CPG. And, very excited to be bringing you all a group of talented builders from our community. We're excited to hear not only the pitches today from 8 of those teams, but also from our panelists. We'll let them introduce themselves in a second. And for those watching live, we're just waiting on one more panelist to show up. Couple of quick announcements. First, this is the Pre-Accelerator, getting people ready to kind of help ideate. We are running our actual full accelerator program starting on March 1st. So if you're in Club CPG, if you're thinking about joining, be sure to register for that. The links are in Telegram. They are also in the description below if you're watching this here on YouTube. And even if you are one of the participants here in the Pre-Accelerator today, just a reminder that you do need to still register and join for the full accelerator program that kicks off next month. Second, the panelists know this, but for everyone watching at home, we do want to keep to a timeline here. Like I said, we've got 8 groups. So I occasionally will have to be a little bit strict around timing. The pitches today, they're all pre-recorded, so they're all about 2 minutes. We don't have to worry about that. But just for the panelists, kind of keep your time. We want to hear all of your thoughts, but we do want to make sure that we get to all 8 of those pitches today. And then third, I just want to introduce the panelists today. Maybe Junie, if you want to kick off, just introduce yourself and kind of who you represent.
Yep. Hey, everyone. I'm Junie. I'm from GCR, which stands for Global Coin Research. We're the largest research and investment DAO with over 8,600 members. And to date, we've invested in 86 projects across all various, sectors in Web3 and deployed roughly 40 million across those 86 projects. And separately, I'm also a co-founder of another project currently going through a fundraise. So excited to help and share experiences to whoever wants to chat afterwards.
Excellent. And then Azim, if you want to just give a little bit of an overview on yourself.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody. I'm Azim. I'm the fundraising and partnerships lead over at Gitcoin. If you're not familiar with Gitcoin, we have been helping fund open source public goods for the last going on 4 years and have been giving out grants in the tune of tens of millions of dollars. Some of the most successful projects in the ecosystem, including Optimism, Yearn, Dune. They were all at one point part of the grants ecosystem. And so I'm super excited to come take a look at some of these projects today.
Excellent. Let us jump right into it. So again, it's the CPG Accelerator program. Everyone's going to have about 2 minutes. You'll each have about 1 to 2 minutes just to help keep this moving along. So the first group we've got here is Ideation. These are the 8 teams that you all are going to get to see today. I think you had some, hopefully you had a chance to look at some of the pre-reading, and I know some of the other teams that are watching definitely did as well. So we've got 3VO, Angry Mods, Itemo, Moxies.X, Prune, Rewild, Wonder, and Yips. These are all groups that are in the ideation session, so they're just starting out. They're looking to test their ideas, maybe build out a team. Maybe they've got a team, but they're exploring some business models, or just starting to build up that community. So first up, we've got 3VO, and I'm going to let them explain it to you.
My name is Ian Rowanleg, and I am the founder of Evo, a blockchain integrated fitness app intended to help fitness enthusiasts and professionals enhance their training by giving them tools and resources to create, share, access, execute, and monetize exercise programs through a gamified social experience. The global market capitalization of virtual fitness has grown 3.5 times since 2019 and is projected to reach $76.5 billion by 2027. Showing that the online sector is still quickly growing despite claims of saturation. So what's the problem? Most fitness apps are just tools for enthusiasts and professionals to better organize and track their fitness. Where they heavily lack is in the experience that they provide to the user. While the current blockchain landscape provides incentives, they evoke little meaning and are largely unsustainable. Our solution is to empower users by gamifying this experience and allowing them to express their identity and creativity while being autonomous in their process. This includes providing tools and resources, but also incentivizing users to earn achievements and unlock benefits, mint and sell exercise programs as NFTs, and develop their own digital identity through a unique leveling system that's shaped by the user's exercise routine and habits. Our service will follow an NFT-based subscription model where users can mint, transfer, and resell their subscription to empower users and give more people access to exercise. Subscriptions will have various tiers with the aim of providing a free version, a premium gamified version, and a professional version that allows coaches to develop their own gamified ecosystem within the app. Ideally, we'd like to complete our MVP by Q3 of this year, followed by our own premium model by Q1 of 2024, and lastly, onboard coaches and collaborate with fitness influencers to expand our reach by Q2 of 2024. Thank you for listening, and I hope you consider us as an investment opportunity in the future.
Excellent. So, Evo, would love to get your thoughts. Either one of you guys want to hop in? Maybe Azim, we'll go to you first. Yeah,
I'll go first. Honestly, I really liked it. There's something along these lines of like gamification of fitness that I'm really looking forward to. One of the things that I would definitely want to see a little bit more of would be on the go-to-market side. I think there's a lot of people who are thinking about stuff like this, but are you looking to like partner with a big insurance company? Do you want to go to direct to consumer? Like, are you going to work with large corporations and trying to get them to sign on so that you can get a large batch of people at first, sort of like the Future Fit app? So I'd say more on go-to-market, but I love the idea.
Yep, I also agree. I wish there was more like clarification or like convincing of why like NFTs are needed. Like, why do you need to incorporate these Web3 aspects to this app? Because like I love the idea. There's like a very compelling like why now, and the size of the market and the growth of the market is pretty compelling. But I just didn't really. I wasn't convinced myself, even as a Web3 native. Like, why do these subscriptions have to be NFTs? And if they're tradable, do they does it limit the scalability? Because technically you could charge subscriptions to hundreds of millions of people, versus like if you only have a limited set, then it's much harder to scale.
great. Appreciate the feedback from you guys on there, and I'm sure the team at Evo will as well. Let's go to the next one. So we got Angry Mods, and let's just jump right into their video.
My name is AMA, and this is Angry Mods. We're a team of Web2 professionals that have already made the switch to Web3. We saw the opportunity to build a hiring platform to improve the Web3 hiring space. We started with moderators because they're the backbone of our industry, and the expectations that are placed on them are extremely high, and the pay is slim to none. Our target market is still being refined, but we see a positive indicator being that more Web3 hiring platforms are entering the space and more people are leaving their current roles for Web3 careers. Our solution started off with the community first, offering mentorship, compensation guidance, product sheets, and education tools. Next, we'll be launching an Angry Mods NFT collection to help bring awareness to the space, some of the issues that they face on a day-to-day basis. The mods will get a free mint, and the other proceeds from the mint will help fund the project and further development tools and resources. Expanding beyond that into a Web3 hiring space where we match vetted resources to projects, making sure that we protect the workers with escrowed payments and charge a percentage as a way to monetize. Our team members have worked together before. We've worked at a consultancy, so we know what kind of tools we need and how we can protect our workers. Our monetization strategy doesn't rely on the NFT collection. If we do make some money from that, that's great. It will help us. We're bootstrapping right now, but we see the bigger opportunity as building the hiring platform down the road, where we get 15 to 20% of all the gigs that are performed on our platform. We've got great traction as we're starting off. Builders Grant, 70 plus mods in our Discord. We're getting speaking engagements to talk about hiring in Web3, and we're already building partnerships with others in the space.
Excellent. I mean, I know we certainly appreciate our mods here at CPG. It takes a really good set of moderators to run an excellent community, I believe. But maybe Drini, we'll start with you this time. You know, thoughts on the problem and how they are thinking about solving it.
Yep. I do see that a lot of mods, they're heavily underpaid, and there's a lot of geographic arbitrage going on. Just because like mods are much cheaper to hire like offshore. But what I'm wondering is like, are they trying to sell, or are they trying to sell to aspiring mods or existing mods, and sell to like businesses to allow them to train their mods to be more effective? I think I'm also not personally sure how large the market for mods is. I guess it could honestly expand beyond Web3, just because like Discord is a hub for a lot of Web2 communities, gaming communities. But yeah, I think definitely interesting model. I'm just curious like what the education and resources look like. Is it courses, or is it these like handbooks? I think that would play a big part, just in terms of scalability.
Awesome. And Azim, thoughts?
One of the similar things was definitely along the idea of like, how big is the addressable market for this? And one of the things that anyone in Web3 knows is that Web3 hiring as a whole is broken. So I would ask, why not look to be able to tackle the entirety of the market if you're going to be doing it? There's a really broken funnel system when it comes to being able to bring Web2 people, educate them as much as they need to know to then get into Web3. So that, for me, that would just be like a much larger market size that they could address. But the other thing I would ask is if they're looking for funding, being that this is a services model, I think it would make sense to be able to potentially add something to it that would add the venture side of things to this. Right now, I see this as, you know, being able to take a 20% and like running it as a services business, which can do really well, but trying to see where like the scalable part of this would be.
Yeah, great feedback. I'm sure that they will appreciate it. Moving right along, we are at Itemo now, our third here in the ideation group. Let's get their video going.
Hi, my name is Michał, and this is Itemo. Our purpose is to unleash the value of your designs. We are a community-owned platform revolutionizing the way industrial designers and makers release and monetize their work using NFTs with an integrated copyright licensing model. A common pain point for independent designers is releasing a physical product. It is a laborious, expensive, and often environmentally taxing process. Our Objectory digital marketplace allows designers to bypass this traditional process and bring their designs straight to the market. Using it, designers can set customized copyright licensing permissions and royalties from physical products, allowing users like brands and manufacturers to acquire quality designs ready for adoption without the need for designer negotiations. It streamlines and reduces the carbon impact of the product implementation process. We will test our concept with an MVP and launch the complete product with open market functionality and integrated 3D models repository by the end of the year. Our long-term plan is to establish a launchpad for physical products based on the most standout Objectory projects. Our ecosystem's value flows from the network of creators, contributors, and users through the marketplace to physical and digital spaces. Finally, it comes back to the community as feedback loops and royalties from product implementations. Our projection, based on 4 revenue streams, estimates a $9 million in revenue with 1% market share by 2027. There is currently no other marketplace offering the same features as Objectory, including the recently launched Mund Sanglia. We are working with a team of designers, CGI specialists, and a furniture industry consultant. We are now looking for a technical co-founder to join us. At Idemo, we are all about solving the problems and needs of modern-day designers and making a positive change in the industry. So please, reach out to us. We would love to hear your feedback. Thank you for your time.
Excellent. Well, thanks for that from Itemo. We had our third panelist join. Hey, Lloyd. Good to have you. Maybe before we go on, and just to give Junie and Azim some time to think, introduce yourself. Then we'll go over to them, and then come back around to you for some feedback on the video you just saw.
Apologies. You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say late to an event around.
We're actually
So
your audio's a little bit off. Maybe if you can try maybe hitting refresh and coming back into the room. Your video is actually okay, but your audio is out of sync. There we go. While we're doing that, Azim, maybe you want to start us off this time with a little bit of feedback?
I'll be honest. I was trying to really pay attention, but the story wasn't flowing for me, and I've been reading the paragraph over and over. It might be that it's a little bit late for me in the evening. I've been traveling today, but it was there was like a part of the story where I feel like just I didn't understand it, and other parts of it seemed actually impressive, but I was trying to make the connection for it.
It's good feedback of just, for folks that are thinking about their presentation. Junie, similar?
Yeah, same with me, and it's also morning here. So for me, like how I understood it is I was assuming it's just designers get to meet manufacturers, or like the entire, like, I guess, assembly line of what it takes to develop a product would be, it's like a marketplace to find each areas of expertise to design and then develop a product. But I was still trying to, I think there was a lot of information that was shared, but I would like a more simpler diagram understanding the flow. Also, if it is like this, I'm curious like what their strategy is to bring on all of these different players, because obviously you can't just have designers without having like manufacturers or other experts that can help you actually like successfully launch a product. So I'm curious to know how they plan on at least bringing in that initial like seed group of talent to actually launch a few MVP products.
Great, appreciate that. And then Lloyd is back. Hopefully, the technical difficulties. Are you there, Lloyd?
How does this sound?
Better.
Brilliant. I'll contribute to the next one.
Excellent. Maybe just for the folks that that are watching, if you want to just maybe give like a high level of your background and who you represent today.
Yeah. So I founded the Mana Group. We have a venture arm. We have a lab where we do research and development in the future of work, and we accelerate projects. And then we have a search business where we are trying to disrupt the traditional model to move talent within Web3 more naturally. And we have a podcast, Searching for Mana, which I was just recording, where we've been really fortunate to get some of the really interesting innovators and entrepreneurs in fintech and the blockchain space. And the show is really trying to find out, what the next big things are and who's building in the space, some of the challenges they've got. So a really useful show, hopefully, to listen to if you're trying to navigate the landscape right now.
Great. Appreciate it. And thanks for joining today. We're just going to keep moving right along. So the next up is Moxies.X, and we'll jump right into their video.
Hi, I'm Juliette Blake, and I'm the founder of Moxies. You've seen the headlines, and if you have daughters, nieces, sisters, or any young girls in your life, you've seen firsthand how current media and social media platforms are leading to detrimental effects on kids, especially when it comes to tween and teen girls. Pair that with Gen Alpha, who is positioned to be the largest adopter of Web3 technology. which, when we think about the ethos of Web3, is actually even more terrifying for these younger demos than our current social platforms. We need to build within these protocols, but ensure safety and protection and leverage lessons learned. A little bit about me. I built the media brand for girls, Miss O and Friends. It started as a hobby in high school, then received investment from Procter & Gamble, and I grew it into a top girls website globally, launching the only safe social app for tween girls, and was one of the first series funded by YouTube Originals and hosted on Disney. I've built a brand with proven empowerment through mission-driven content and leadership, STEAM, and computer science. And most recently, I launched Miss So Cool Girls. And in the 9 months, we've become the leading brand in the Web3 space, focusing on educating, empowering, and building for girls. And we've partnered with Uniswap, Ledger, Unstoppable Domains, and Super Rare. I am building out Moxies, a gamified media ecosystem to empower the next generation of change makers, all safely powered by the blockchain. Think Doodles 2 and Reddit NFTs meets Farcaster and Zepeto in a fun and playful, safe, authentic, and community-first environment where content, community, and commerce all intersect. This is a huge opportunity for mass adoption in Web3 and a chance to build better. Out of the 80 million users in the US on TikTok, 60% are females between the registered ages of 16 to 24, and girls average 7 hours of screen media per day, spending nearly $130 billion in direct sales each year. Initial streams for Moxies include subscription, in-app purchases, brand partnerships, entertainment, and licensing. Investing in Moxies is investing in a healthy tech and media future for Gen Alpha and empowering girls to match their Moxie. And I would love for you to join us.
Excellent. Thanks for that. Definitely. I love the problem she's trying to address. Maybe Lloyd, you want to kick us off this round?
Yeah. So messy first slide, but then it was all uphill after that. Love the background of the founder, understand the challenge, understand the opportunity, looks really cool. I think this could be really big. Don't understand enough about the current team, what the plans are for the organization to meet what is a very large opportunity. So externally, is there an opportunity and is it really exciting and should it happen and do we want it to happen? Yes. She seems like a good founder. What's the rest of the organization to go meet that massive opportunity? I don't know, would be interested in that.
Great, thanks. Azim, you want to hop in?
To me, that was honestly an excellent pitch. She really identified exactly why she would be the right founder to be launching something like this. Like, were I to try to launch this, it would make absolutely no sense. And so from that perspective, I thought it was awesome. Where I was definitely curious was, like, I thought there would be more where she'd get into like where the business model of this would be, because there's definitely monetization potential here. And I was just curious to see, especially, since Doodles is mentioned, like how she was planning on going about that. But excellent pitch. Definitely could have expanded maybe like a longer pitch and it would have been even better.
Thanks. I think those will be helpful. And Junie?
Yep. Yeah, I also agree. She did a great job, or I guess she has a very strong background, and I think it was very necessary because this is a very niche and specific area where you need the right founder. But I wish there was more discussion on the actual product itself. And this is a pretty lofty goal, because you're competing against these other there's so many Web3 social platforms that are launching, and they're way more broader. So I'm curious how she plans on onboarding both content creators as well as users initially.
Great. Appreciate the feedback on that. Next up is Prune, and depending on where you are, it might be time for a little bit of wine. So let's get their video rolling.
Hey everyone, my name is Ryan Imbriali, and I'd like to introduce you to Prune, a digital marketplace where wine and digital assets are frictionlessly tracked, traded, and exchanged. Wine is a luxury item and asset class that never successfully adapted to the digital age. As of today, investment-grade wine is archaically tracked alongside gold and the S&P 500, and the general public is completely locked out of access to the market. Wine is overdue for disruption, and a digital marketplace is our first roadmap milestone to democratize access. Prune unlocks wine investing to 3 million active Web3 collectors and participants by bridging the $1.4 trillion Web3 asset class to the $350 billion wine asset class, Prune sits at the intersection of two massive high-growth markets and is uniquely positioned to capture the confluence of industries while reshaping the future of the wine trade. Unlike others in the digital meets physical space, Prune is a hyper-focused, industry-specific authority. We're founded by professionals with experience running successful wine and Web3 organizations. We're profoundly equipped to navigate the compliance complexities of wine and intend to leverage our deep network and existing infrastructure. I've personally been in the wine industry for over 15 years as a wine and spirits importer and founded a successful direct-to-consumer e-commerce business on top of that. And I'm currently acting as a chief operating officer for a Web3 fintech company. I've been on a journey to push wine's innovation forward and recognize that digitalization presents a blue ocean opportunity. We have the unique advantage to provide investors, enthusiasts, and degens with simplified access to a brand new market. We can establish strong brand recognition and customer loyalty while competitors will struggle to get such a massive undertaking off the ground. We're looking to raise $450,000 to ensure Prune becomes the bridge to link wine investment to the digital landscape.
Excellent. I don't know if any of y'all have, spirits or alcohol in your portfolio, or you're looking for it. But Azim, it looks like you jumping right in if you want to kick us off.
I think the first thing I would say is I would love a little bit more information on why the demographics might work. I think the kind of person who I would imagine is picking up really expensive bottles to collect when it comes to wine is going to be someone who probably doesn't even like fully love using their smartphone, never mind like bringing them into Web3 technology. And so while I see like the opportunity size, I'm not sure that I see where it intersects with the demographic who would be purchasing it in the way that they're going about it. I think that was one of the main things as I was listening, being like, I can't imagine like the random 64-year-old guy who's like, I got the 1892 vintage Cabernet, being the guy who's like, I'm going to do this as like a Web3 thing.
Good. So maybe, focus on clientele or potential, and if there's anything that can back that up. Lloyd, any feedback here?
Yeah, a couple of points. So I have a friend who, runs a very successful version of this that isn't a crypto version. And I agree with Azim, where I feel like the people who are investing in his discretionary investment fund, in essence, don't really care if it's Web3. And that's where the demographic exists currently. Now, much like what we're seeing in NFTs, where there's an appeal to the degens with PFPs, and we're starting to see generative art bring in a very sophisticated level of investor. I think it poses an interesting opportunity, but I don't think that it's there for a long time. And so the opportunity probably is for that equivalent of the PFP and NFTs, hence have some liquidity, which is token. And yes, I like investing. And is this an offset to the other investments that I have in the crypto space? What I didn't see enough of is, why would I invest my money in this anytime soon? So I think there's a long way to go with any type of track record of why this. It has to be a more stable investment than what people, can go and trade themselves. And it has to have consistently pretty good returns, which we, like last year, there was fantastic returns if you're investing in this type of wine. But right now, I'd still just go do that with who's doing it, because their track record. So that's the challenge.
Great. Really appreciate that insight. And then Junie,
Yeah, not much to add. I think Azim and Lloyd both covered everything, but I'm curious, by implementing like NFTs or like digital like asset components, if it unlocks a segment of the market that previously would have never invested in wine in the first place, similar to NFTs, where like artwork, like kids or like young adults, like they didn't care about art, but now they see like the price discovery and like the and the ability to profit off of it, and then now everyone's like a art connoisseur. So this is just me speculating whether if that's a possibility.
Great. I appreciate it. And hopefully Ryan does as well. We got 3 more here in the ideation group to get through. So we're going to jump right into Rewild.
Everyone, I'm Jess from South Africa, and my project Rewild makes it possible for anyone, anywhere, to become an owner in the first global community-owned wildlife reserve. In Africa, endangered species and biodiversity are under increasing threat, with degraded farmland expanding to constrict wilderness areas. Acquisition of land is currently limited to the mega-wealthy, and environmentally minded individuals have few meaningful avenues to contribute to the solution. We are creating an opportunity for anyone, no matter their location, to be an owner in a wildlife reserve, transforming degraded farmland into ecotourism reserves that protect endangered species, uplift local communities, and offset carbon dioxide. We are democratizing access to wilderness assets by allowing people to purchase parcels of land from as little as $5 as NFTs in our marketplace. Through our partnerships, we have developed access to 15 million acres that are primed for integration into wilderness conservation corridors. The result of successfully rewilding these areas will offset 7.4 million tons of carbon, generate $5.3 billion through ecotourism, and revalue the land at over $40 billion. Land parcels from 1 square meter to several acres will be available to purchase, granting holders access to the rewild ecosystem, where they can be involved in live rewilding efforts such as animal relocations and wildlife vet procedures, as well as benefit from discounts with other eco brands and partners. Our team currently consists of myself, my father Grant, a rewilding expert, and my uncle William, a world-renowned wildlife vet. We have years of experience, an extensive network, and a successful track record, having transformed many areas into wildlife reserves, including our own family dairy farm. Rewild is the Web3 venture we are launching to accelerate our current rewilding initiatives. At this point, we are looking to raise $2 million in pre-seed funding to purchase the initial area of land and launch a successful proof of concept. Thanks for your time, and I would love to hear from you.
Excellent. Very noble effort there. Another founder clearly has some experience in this place. Who wants to jump in first?
I love this. I would have loved to have heard more on if it's more of like a donation model or a business model, because she's talking about turning billions of dollars into more billions of dollars. And so are you being able to take part in the profiting of the ecotourism that's going to be taking place as a result? And then where she'd be looking to start. I'd be really curious if that location was one where like she had conversations with the local government to be, or federal government. I don't know how that works in different countries, but to be able to say that like the NFT that you purchase will in some capacity actually be tied to the land, that part, like stuff like this is stuff that I'm actually very, very curious about as we move forward in this industry. And so, yeah, I would definitely just want to learn more. I really like this one.
Cool. Thanks. Junie, it looked like you tried to jump in earlier too.
Yeah, no, this was very easy to understand. I think the slides were perfect in the amount of information and being able to clearly like show how it works. But yeah, on the ecotourism part, it seems like she speared a large number, like billions of dollars that can be generated. I'm curious to know like how that projections came out and like how long it would actually take to rewild these I guess these lands in Africa. But yeah, no, I would like personally, I think like just knowing that I'm contributing to good and potentially being able to profit off of it, I think it aligns incentives for like multiple parties.
Great. And then Lloyd, anything to add?
I think the guys covered it really well. Perhaps what, much like Zima saying, you know, what's the next steps in the short term? How does that look? This is 50 acres. Like, what's the projections after that? Because just because it's such a big thing, I don't have any idea about, you know, it's hard to talk about competition. You know, as you're saying, Azim, it feels like it's, you know, maybe it should be a foundation. But nonetheless, if you can get profit from it, and it's obviously doing wonderful things. Fantastic. What does that do? That doesn't feel like something you go into for the next 18 months. That feels like something you're embarking on for a several year, 10-year tenure. So yeah, I would have liked a bit more kind of outcomes on the horizon. But yeah, really, really clear. Obviously, wonderful thing to do. So yeah, loved it.
Great.
She should definitely reach out to Gitcoin when we do our next climate round. We have a bunch of really interesting Web3 climate projects, and I think that this could work well for that.
Excellent. Appreciate that. We'll make sure to connect her with that. Let's jump ahead to Wonder and see what they've got going on.
Hi guys, it's Elian Kutsi here, and today I'm going to present to you my idea for a company called Wonder. Now, first, a really short backstory. That's me with my car in front of my house, although it isn't. That's the life that people think I lead, seeing as I run a luxury men's lifestyle magazine. The print publication launched in 2012, but I've been in this space since 2008. I consult for a lot of brands and agencies as well, do some trend forecasting, and also help people to build their own brands and products. And it's through that I've seen that there's an issue, especially with the brands that want to control their own data, fed up of being at the behest of social media platforms, bots and algorithms, and also from the platform side of things, that they are fed up of catering to traffic algorithms and social media platforms, and also reducing dwell time of a fickle reader. The reader, which has their own problems, not for them, but for us, because they're time poor, information rich, they've got lots of choice, and they have no real incentive to change that way of operating. So what Wonder is? So Wonder is essentially helps to stretch and deeper user engagement while rewarding the user all through Web3 tech. So everyone benefits, the brand, the platform, and the visitors. For example, with data capture, the brands can incentivize using Web3 options. The platforms are then transparent, have control of that data, and the visitors get rewarded in ways that they weren't before. The house, so there's basically a triumvirate of these arenas. They sit together. Wonder essentially sit in the middle in terms of its operation, its benefit for all three, but also in terms of how it monetizes. You look at the readers and visitors, it could be through commission-based digital platforms, it could be as software as sales-based kind of business, and advertisers and brands obviously be facilitation of their marketing budget, so on and so forth. The MVP would be Joshua's magazine. It's a luxury lifestyle platform. Downtime and inspiration is the theme. So the users that read the engage the website were rewarded in time for viewing and engaging with the content, which they can then put towards the brands they read about, the products they read about, and also in real life experiences as well. The market cap's based on Taboola, which is a similar kind of business in the Web2 space arena. Outbrain's like a smaller version of what they do, but also there's also Hypebeast, which is a media company that's diversified into marketing, which gives you a kind of idea where we could be looking to hit. The ask, general Web3 help, technical advice, obviously, and the build the MVP, estimating circa between 50 and 100K. That depends on how much of no code is available, but then I'm open to discussions on that as well. Thanks for your time, people. Thanks for listening, and I hope to hear more from you soon.
Excellent. Think good identification of a problem. Would love to hear your thoughts about the presentation and their proposed solution. Junie, maybe you want to hop in and start us off first this time.
Yeah, I don't know if it was my computer, but it seemed like the first half of the presentation, he was speaking pretty quickly and moving through the slides pretty quickly. It didn't seem like the slides were useful I think he could have slowed down and kind of gone over the points, because I honestly didn't have time to read any of the slides. But then later on, he kind of slowed down, which made it easier to understand. I just don't. I'm curious how he plans on actually tracking real engagement versus just bots or the same happens right now for NFT projects, also for whitelist as well as for airdrops. How do you really filter out true engagement and true engagement time? I don't see where Web3 really comes into play. Based on what he was saying.
Gotcha. We lost you a little bit at the end there, but I think we got what your gist. Lloyd, you want to hop in there?
Yeah, it didn't really catch me at all. Perhaps it's not in my circumference of interests, and it just feels incredibly early on. There is a lot of could potentially, it feels like really early ideation. I think he has clearly a successful career in consulting into these type of opportunities. I don't think it's at a point where I felt there was a clear thing to go build as an MVP even. But then again, was asking for a really small amount and asking questions. So I think is at that stage where needs some support and a bit of time frame to properly form what to go after next. But again, this could just be, that's not particularly the zone that I play in.
So I had actually proposed to build a all-in solution for Dreamville Records years ago. Back in 2016, they have J. Cole, JID, a handful of others, very successful hip hop record label. And this was something along the lines of what I had been pitching to them, was to have one solution where you know everything more about your fans and can reward your fans. And the idea of being able to do things where you could actually help incentivize them was something we spoke about. I think even now, I think Junie touched on it, is the Sybil resistance thing, which even we at Gitcoin deal with quite a bit, figuring out decentralized identity and making sure that people aren't gaming the system is something that is very actively being explored, but has not yet been figured out. And I think that would end up being one of the biggest blockers in making this happen. That said, I do believe in the idea in a longer term once some of those technical things are taken care of.
Excellent. Appreciate the feedback there. And then we're actually on to our last one here, which is Yips. And we're going to end in the cannabis space. So let's see what they've got going on.
It has been over 100 years since Prohibition. By comparison, weed has been legal for 3 minutes. Growing pains run deep in the cannabis industry, but it all boils down to this. Weed still feels illegal to most Americans, and here's some proof. Only 20% of Californian cannabis sales happened in a legal dispensary last year. That's abysmal. The whole experience of legal weed for the average person is just unapproachable. Women in their 30s don't want to be taking bong rips. Instead, they want to buy edibles. But when you think of edibles, what do you think of? Cookies and brownies, perhaps? Then why are cookies only taking 1.3% of the total market share for edibles? Simply put, modern day edibles, especially cookies, are shit. Yips plans to change that. Our cookie makes the modern day drug deal approachable for canna-curious Americans. Behold, the Yip. Fully customizable, you can infuse shape, color, or flavor as desired, and best of all, it's not shit. Our pledge to America is that Yips are every legal cannabis user's first experience with weed. I innovated the Yip based on my bakery's award-winning sandwich cookie, and inspired by my guiding days, I want to co-create the legal culture of weed that's approachable for people like me, not stoners. Relative to current leaders, we bring a killer product to the market, but our secret weapon are blockchain assets. Since budtenders influence 7 out of 10 purchases, we offer decentralized commissions and community to uplift their passion. To launch, we will sell exclusive CBD and THC cookies with aligned communities, possibly CPG and BFF. Our fiscal future looks bright. Our 10% THC royalty and a 50% CBD margin ensures that we clean up really nice. And with a high lifetime value to acquisition cost, our main KPI is that 1 in every 2 THC cookie sales are Yips. Help us bake to get you baked with $75,000 to scale up as we become America's next household cannabis brand. Thanks so much.
Excellent. I know not everyone on the panel, I don't think everyone is based in the US, so would love kind of your thoughts of this approach and the identified problem.
I've been super curious about how in particular like the edible problem would be solved. So much of cannabis culture is like stoner culture, and there's too much of it that isn't branded for like the professional on Wall Street who's going to feel comfortable like having like instead of airheads at his like table having like pot heads, like they'll call them, and like, you know, like that said, I don't know nearly enough about this market and wasn't sure how the Web3 portion connects. She went through it a little bit fast. That said, my last comment is like she's really good at presenting. Yeah.
Thanks. Lloyd?
Yes, yeah. So love the drama in the presentation. What a character. And that's can be one of the differentiations of a brand breaking out, of which a part of this is that. I like the look of it. Looks cool. Looks really nice. She's got the credentials to make the cookies. In terms of the opportunities, obviously large, and it's little things that make the difference. On the token, yeah, agreed. There wasn't quite enough for me to understand it. Perhaps again, it's I don't 100% understand that network that she's looking to utilize to incentivize, this. But sure, I think even without that, this could be like big if it's put in the right places. So yeah, looks interesting. Love the presentation.
Yeah, for me personally, being in the US, I've seen this market grow like pretty rapidly. So I definitely see a huge demand in it. If I understood the incentive model correctly, I believe she has these NFTs where holders earn commission or like a referral fee for whoever buys their products using their I guess referral code. I'm not sure how it works, but I think that's a very powerful way to get like free business development or salespeople without actually paying them a full-time salary. But like I guess, and then also with NFTs, I think it drives a lot of it builds a lot more like a closely knit community that I think they have some like physical tie, or I guess not like digital tie to it. So I definitely think that she should touch on that more because I think like it was still unclear how that exactly works, but if done right, I think it's a pretty powerful way.
Agreed. Appreciate the comments from you guys there. Hopefully Katerina does as well. Clearly has the passion going for this topic. With that, we're almost at an hour, but we are actually done with the 8 that we had here. For the folks watching, we do have a POAP. If you're a regular in the Club CPG streams here, we always have a POAP. So pitch FTW, go and enter that. Go play the game. If you are frustrated by the POAP game that they implemented, go watch our most recent Genius Call with Patricio. You can actually see him live playing the game itself. But definitely go hit that up and make sure that shows up for your CPG rewards. While we've got you guys, that's the end of the slides. Would love to just end on thanking all the presenters, thanking all of you. And if folks, want to reach out, maybe they want to get a little bit more information, what's the best way, if we can just go down the line, what's the best way for everyone to kind of get in touch with you all?
Yeah. So my name's Lloyd Warhead. I think it's the only combination of those two names. You can find me on all the different platforms, whichever one you choose, Lloyd Warhead. But also just really quickly, I'm going to tell a story why I was late in just 30 seconds.
Yeah, sure.
Because I feel really bad about it. So I came to this conference to do an interview, and I thought the one thing that wouldn't mess up is that I brought my like recording equipment in a Remoa. But you think like a Remoa, this is going to be fine. The Remoa wouldn't open So I couldn't get any of the recording equipment out. We had to get a man with a crowbar to break the Rimowa suitcase.
You broke a Rimowa before this?
Broke the Rimowa before this, which I'm distraught about. And it's my fault because I posted, I humble bragged on Twitter earlier. I'm in Barcelona.
Oh.
Here's my Rimowa with my Mana sticker on it. And then, of course, karma came back at me. So, guys, I'm really sorry that I was late and missed some of the first ones, but really enjoyed the tail end of it.
Appreciate it, and yeah, sorry to hear that. That's tough. Azim, how can folks get in touch with you?
Yeah, so my Twitter, my DMs are open. It's AZEEMK_. You can just message me on there, and then my Telegram is just AZEEMK. I have loaned my CPG pop over to a friend of mine who's been using it to check out what it's like, and so I'll probably be buying another one of those probably pretty soon and just let them keep that one. So I'll be back in the community soon as well, but Telegram or Twitter would be great to reach me.
Excellent, thanks, and love to hear that you're spreading the CPG message to some friends as well. And Junie?
Yep, you could reach me on Telegram. It's JUNNEYK. So my name and K. Yeah, I would love to hear from a lot of the founders.
Excellent. Well, thanks again, guys. Really appreciate you taking the time today. For the founders and entrepreneurs that are watching, really appreciate the time that you took to put those videos together. Again, for anyone that's interested in participating in the next accelerator program kicking off on March 1st, you can find the link in the Telegram Accelerator, or again here in the description on YouTube. Make sure to go ahead and register and let your friends know about the upcoming program as well. If anyone else is, still in that phase where they're trying to figure things out, or they're looking for a technical co-founder or a designer, things like that, there's a lot of matchmaking that's been happening in the accelerator chats over on Telegram. So with that, again, just want to thank the panelists. Thank you guys for offering your time and your wisdom here today. With that, everyone, have a great day,